Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's officially summer. I just finished up finals and everything, so I'm back home and just trying to stay on my grind. I only got like 3 more weeks until my big race, and just time to get everything dialed in while I'm home. It's a little bit of an adjustment, considering I'm not by myself anymore, and my family's always, eating their own meals and stuff, so it's not like I have everything planned out. But I'm, slowly adapting and just doing things the way I was doing it at home so I can stay consistent and get down and body fat, because I want to look really good. And low-key, I put on a couple pounds because of freaking finals, but it is what it is. I got through it. That's what matters. And now it's just time to, realize where I'm at, make that adjustment, and keep moving forward. This video, I want to show you guys how, how I was able to lose, around 70 pounds. And just like, since I'm already trying to get back into this routine, it's reminding me of those moments where I had to make a switch if I wanted to, look the way I wanted to look and get to the weight that I wanted to be at. So now that I'm going through this little change, I want to, highlight what I did along my journey to help me get there and help me make those adjustments so I can live the lifestyle I want to live and look the way I want to look and be the way I want to be. I ran 15 miles yesterday. That was pretty cool, but the only thing is that I low-key think I have tendonitis, and so that's getting me a little bit worried. But, I know by the time race day comes, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna ignore it and just do it. But like, it is kind of annoying and a little bit stressful because now I know that I got something I gotta worry about instead of going in 100%. And that's kind of my fault because I've been struggling a little bit with keeping up my training and lifting and school. And it's like, it's a lot to balance, but we're still gonna get through race day. We're still gonna get through this. And, all of this, everything that's not going so well right now, is just stuff I could, remember and, make adjustments accordingly in the future if I'm pressed with the same situations, So that's what I got going on. I'll show you guys what I meal prepped this week. I made some Berto Bowls. So before, when I kind of stopped recording for a little bit, I was really cutting down on my calories and cutting out the carbs. So a Berto Bowl, I just have kale as like the main base, and then I just throw whatever meat on top. I try to get it to like 100 grams of protein per bowl, and then I just throw a bunch of like salsa or like hot sauce that's like no calories, maybe max 20 calories, and I throw that on top like a shit ton. And I put like raw onions in it, raw jalapenos in it, and there's your Berto Bowl. It's crazy macros, like no carbs, bunch of protein, a little bit of fat, it's not bad. But I'll show you guys how I do that. And yeah, dude, so I'll catch you guys. All right, guys, it's officially that time. Oh shit. About to go to the gym. It's about to turn 11. So, just getting these late night grind in. My sleep schedule's kind of messed up because I work late, so I'm kind of used to being up this late. And I'm just gonna get this work in, and I'm gonna start going to the gym later now. But one of the big things that helped me when I wanted to lose weight, when I was heavier, is like being consistent at the gym and really making myself comfortable there. And really like knowing what I'm doing, I feel like that was a big thing, is like once I started going consistently, bringing my notebook, getting pre-workout, getting my, protein powder, and looking up how to do the proper technique for the lifts and actually doing it, and then getting used to it and knowing all the names to all the workouts and everything like that. Once I got really acclimated with, just like gym knowledge, it just made going so much better, and I just felt like I really belonged. And, when you first, are trying to get into the gym, having that feeling really helps, feeling like you know what you're doing and not just not knowing what you're doing and like bullshitting in the gym. It's like, no, dude, like you're there for a purpose, you know, make it as successful as possible, you know, do everything you can to make sure that your time spent is being spent, you know, as effectively as possible, you know, like that's your time is valuable. So, you know, that's a big thing, you know, the gym, losing weight, it's like hand in hand, you know, you just gotta make sure your diet's right. That's like the biggest thing that people do wrong. They could go to the gym's easy or whatever, but the hardest part is eating right, you know, and you still gotta train hard. Like if you wanna get, you know, above average results, you gotta put in above average work, you know, so that's the biggest thing. And so right now, you know, it doesn't matter when you can fit it into your day, and just do it, you know, just do it, you know, that's it. You gotta do it, you gotta want it, and, you know, just have the right mindset. But anyways, I'm about to go to the gym right now, so I'll catch you guys.